Mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you think about and make sense of yourself and the world. Your mindset influences how you think, how you feel, and the things that you do and say, your actions and your behaviors. So the leadership mindset that you have is critical to your effectiveness as a leader. Hi, I'm Lori Sulpizio. I imagine a world with better leadership. So my work focuses on developing thoughtful leaders who can make courageous decisions, who prioritize strong connection, and can make a lasting impact wherever they attempt to lead. A big aspect of my work is training people to develop a strong mindset, to develop mental toughness, emotional resiliency. And probably the most important aspect for a leader is their leadership mindset, but we often don't think a lot about this. When I talk about leadership and developing effective leadership, I'm not talking about traditional leadership. I'm not talking about the kind of leadership that prioritizes profits over people, avoids accountability, blames others, and dismisses the need for true diversity and inclusion. But I'm talking about conscious leadership, a leadership that has a deeper awareness and a willingness to do things differently so that we can move ourselves forward. And you'll see that this approach to leadership exists if you're a manager in an organization, if you're a teacher in a school, if you're a parent, if you're a sports coach. Pretty much anytime you're a person attempting to influence others or create a culture within a surroundings, you need conscious leadership and you need to develop a leadership mindset. You've probably heard of the word mindset. You've probably heard of having a growth mindset. We often want to nurture a positive mindset so that we see failures as an opportunity. But there really is one critical aspect that defines the leadership mindset that we need to be an effective leader leaning into a conscious leadership practice. Can you guess what it might be? It's curiosity. Being driven by curiosity should be at the forefront of your mindset if you want to be an effective leader today. So what does it mean to have a curious mindset, and how can you nurture yours? Well, here are some things that you can do to develop your mindset of curiosity in order to become a more effective leader. So the first, a curious mindset asks questions. And for this, we can go back to the definition of curiosity, which is a strong desire to learn or know something. So just with that mindset, you're coming in knowing that you don't know it all. So in order to learn and get the information that you need to ask questions. I mean, think about this. How often do we associate leadership with the leader standing up in front of the room and just talking at us, telling us what to do, telling us the direction, telling us the strategy? But this isn't an effective way to create connection, and this certainly doesn't elevate the voices of the people that you have working with you. So if you can ask questions, you're going to gain a ton of insight into the information that you get. You're going to hear more voices from the people that you work with, and they're going to feel more included and more a part of the process. All of these are really great things. You can probably imagine that with this, the key part of asking questions and then having that curious mindset is to listen. We need to listen more deeply to what people are saying. Of course, when you're promoted higher and higher up the ranks, you probably are really smart and you've shown expertise and success in your experience. That's a given. But just because you've done that doesn't mean you already know the answer. We've got a great many problems in the world right now that are new problems. Nobody knows the answer. It doesn't matter how high up you are. So if you can listen to the ideas that people have, to the things that they want to share, and try to deeply understand them, again, not only are you going to gain a lot more information to help you make wise decisions, but you will also be bringing people into the process. That's going to make them feel more valued. That's going to make them feel like they belong. If you develop a curious mindset, then you abandon the fantasy of being right. So when you have a curious mindset, you are automatically coming in and saying, I don't know everything, but I want to learn and I want to hear from you. So we start to combine all parts of those, asking questions, being willing to listen, and abandoning the fantasy of being right. And all of a sudden, as a leader, you are coming to your group open and willing to create strong connection, and in a space that allows you to take in more information to then make a smarter and more sound decision. This is a win-win situation all around. So let's see how this works lived out in real experiences. So for example, if you're a parent, you might see your kid with a group of friends and you know it's not the best group of friends. Here's the thing, right? What happens if you tell your child, don't hang out with them, they're bad for you, they don't bring out the best in you, they make bad choices? Probably the quickest thing your kid is gonna do is run right to those friends because they don't wanna be told what to do, especially if you've got teenagers. But instead, imagine if you come to your child with a curious mindset. Hey, I noticed you're hanging out with this group right here. What do you like about them? What kinds of things do you do that's fun? You've then opened the door to have a conversation. And it could be that you're right. Maybe this isn't the best group of friends, but then if your child shares things with you, you could ask them, you think that's the best thing to be doing after school? Or you might actually learn something that you didn't know about these friends, something that you wouldn't have learned if you'd have come into that conversation as the all-knowing parent with your mind already made up. Imagine you're a sports coach and one of your top players is not playing well. She looks like she's lacking focus, not working hard, and essentially just not having that competitive attitude that makes her the best player. So you go to her and say, you don't have focus, you're not working hard, and you seem to have a bad attitude. Do you think that's gonna get you far in connecting with her and helping her come out of this slump that she's in? Probably not. Instead, if you were to come with curiosity, really wondering, what's going on with this player? Is everything okay? What's on her mind? You might actually get some information that could help you. Hey, I've noticed you haven't been performing as well. What do you think it's about? Is everything okay? That's gonna go a lot farther in not only building trust with your relationship, but helping her determine how to come out of this slump that she's in. So now let's take an organizational example. You've got a team, morale seems low, people are bickering, deadlines are getting missed, you're super irritated, getting some pressure from your boss, and you may think you know what's going on, but chances are there is much more depth and breadth to what is happening within that group than you know. So a curious mindset comes into a meeting and says, hey team, we've been underperforming a little bit recently. We're missing deadlines. We're not hitting our KPIs. Morale seems really low to me. How are you all doing? What's your experience of the last month? Coming in, asking questions, willing to deeply listen and not think that you're automatically right and knowing the answer ahead of time. It's gonna help you connect with that team. It might be hard to bring a curious mindset into practice as a leader because this goes against the mental model that we have of a traditional leader who takes charge, who tells people what to do, who makes the big bucks to make the big decisions, who is smarter than everybody else. But really, we know that that kind of leadership doesn't work. It doesn't nurture healthy connection with our kids. It's not building up our athletes to develop their spirit and their resiliency and help them through hard times. And it certainly doesn't do anything to help people and organizations make their goals and feel more meaningful in their workplace. Even though it's hard, I really encourage you to practice a curious mindset. Develop that and propel it forward as the way you practice leadership. Ask questions, be willing to listen, and abandon the fantasy that you're right. Practice doing this differently. Develop a curious mindset and you'll find yourself connecting more strongly with your people and getting the information that you need to make better decisions. Thank you for joining me. Together, we will find a way to bring better leadership to life in our organizations, our schools, our families, and in our communities. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful, maybe even share it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you know when new content comes out. We're putting out new content weekly to try to help you live and lead more thoughtfully and courageously. See you next time.